Buxton Phoenix is the one to beat in Tesco. So maybe this one, also from Buxton, could be the one to be that good. This is 50 IPA. It's got a combination of Citra from the US and Olicana, he's not easy for me to say, from the UK. So what's this bad boy going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today's review is for 50. This is a Buxton Brewery beer, and it's, as I said from the intro, it's got Citra and Olicana. Now, I'm sure we had a Buxton with just Olicana in it, well, probably last year now, when they did all their single hop, their Lupulus X single hop beers. And this beer was in Tesco, and actually this was a bit cheaper than a lot of the others. I think it was £2.40, because you could actually buy a 4-pack of this for £8. So as I said, this is 5.5%, a US-UK hop blend. It just says each pairing is carefully designed to showcase the character of each variety and celebrate the intertwined history and development of modern hops. So I'm not sure quite what it's going to be like, whether it's going to be more east or west coast. But let's crack it open, get it in the glass, and see what it's all about. 5.5% is quite low for an IPA. Maybe that's why it's a bit cheaper. As I said in the intro, the new Buxton one called Phoenix, very, very good. I really like that beer, and to be honest, I think that's the one to beat. So let's look at this one. Well, this one is very similar, really, in terms of it's got a sort of slight yellowy orange haze to it. 2 fingers, very compacted head. So far, this looks very good. Let's see what the aromas are like. A little bit subdued, not really picking up huge amounts of aroma on this. Yeah, I can't really pick. There's a sort of a juicy sort ofness to it, but you can't really pick out individual sort of fruits. Not as pungent as a lot of IPAs, so let's see if the taste is better. Cheers, everyone. Quite citrusy, but not quite as citrusy as the other Buxton. Everything's a little subdued, really, with the flavour. I'm going in again. It's not bad, but it's a little bit dialed back in terms of flavour. Mouthfeel-wise, it's soft, it's smooth, has almost that creamy ability. It's very similar to the other Buxton in terms of a mouthfeel, which is good. Flavours, everything's a little bit dialed back. There's citrus fruits. There's something else. There's almost like a slight sort of berry sort of flavour to it. But it's very difficult to pick out. It's a really easy drinking. It's refreshing. There's no bitterness. A little bit of sharpness with lemons. Yeah, but everything's all sort of dialed back, and it's a bit of a strange one, because when you start thinking, oh, everything's dialed back, it's not as much flavour as a lot of them. You think, well, is it a little watery? But it isn't. It's almost like the mouthfeel really sort of makes it less watery. And that flavour does sort of, although it's not big and it's not a big flavour, it sits there. And I'm trying to pick out what that flavour is. Definitely citrus fruits. I wish it'd give me a little bit more guidance on this one. I mean, obviously it's got Citra in it, so, you know, it's got those Citra characteristics. But I can't remember Olicana, what it brings. I'm sure that was more of, a lot of those sort of UK hops, like Olicana, Jester, Govinda, here was another one. Very much sort of more orangey, and almost had that sort of more pininess to it. But this hasn't got that. It's got a slight earthiness. I can't pick out what it is about it, but what I can say, it's a lovely drink. It's smooth. It's got an element of refreshment. Definitely lemons are in there. The Citra is still quite big in there. So it reminds me a little bit of the Buxton Citra IPA. But there's something else in there that it's difficult to really distinguish. There's another flavour in there, but the mouthfeel's great. It's soft, it's sort of creamy, and I think it's pretty good. And I think if you, I'd be very tempted to buy 4 of these for £8 because I think that's really good value for money. And there's a little bit more to it, even though it's only 5.5%. The body on it is really the star of it. It's better than than pale ales that you usually, they usually box up the pale ales more than the IPAs. This has got a soft, smooth, juicy sort of mouthfeel, and it's pretty good. I wish I could describe it better. For me, there's a hoppiness to it. There's that lemons. The Citra hop is coming through a little bit more than the Olicana. And there's something else in there. So it's almost like a slight berry sort of flavour. It's almost got that almost like the mosaic, US mosaic characteristics of that. It's pretty good though, and as I said, £2, I'm sure it's £2.40 this. Very good value for a £2.40. It's got the body of an IPA. Yes, it's a lower ABV. That means you can drink it easier. It's not like a 6.8% IPA. 5.5% makes it very drinkable, really refreshing, smooth. It's another good beer. I think the Buxtons are the star of this Tesco new launch. I really do. I think this is a very good beer. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for 50/50. This is from Buxton Brewery. It's got Olicana and Citra in it, and it's 5.5%. It's an IPA, £2.40. But if you buy 4 of them, it's £8. Pretty good value for money. But let's go through the scores. Firstly, Aroma. Well, disappointing a little bit. There's a little bit of citrus fruits in there, lemons. I'm picking up more grapefruit as it's sort of warmed up a little bit. It's not bad, but it's not as pungent as I would expect from an IPA. So I'm giving it 10 for Aroma. Appearance-wise, well, I think it looks pretty good. It's a lovely sort of yellow, hazy-looking beer. It is almost custard level. We've got nice lace in the glass. We've got a sliver of head that's retained. I think it looks pretty good. I'm giving it 9 out of 10 for appearance. Flavour-wise, firstly, the mouthfeel is very smooth, almost creamy. It's a nice sort of medium body. There must be lots of oats going into this. It's a very good body for a 5.5% IPA. Flavour, yeah, you're getting citrus. You're getting little hints of mango. And a little bit of grapefruit there on the back end. There's something else in there, I'm getting more of the Citra hop sort of characteristics than from the Olicana. But there's something in there that's a bit different. It's almost like a berry sort of note, I think. But it's a lovely sort of fresh, zesty sort of beer. And as I say, the mouthfeel's the star of it. I'm giving it 33 for flavour. Value for money, well, as I said, you buy 4 of these for £8. I think this is one of those sort of beers that's, if you want something a little bit more flavoursome than a pale ale, this is the beer to go for. This is a step up from pale ale in terms of that body and in terms of that mouthfeel. And then say 4 of these for, works out £2 each. I think that's a cracking value for money. It is similar to the sort of the Lupulus X Citra, which they used to do, which was also you could get in a 4-pack. Even if it's £2.40, I think it's a really good value for money. So I'm giving it 10 out of 10 for value. And my overall experience of this, well, this is a really good beer. I mean, as I said earlier, I think Buxton have really smashed it out of the park with these new Tesco beers. The Phoenix was good. This is equally as good. Not quite as good, but very close to being as good. And obviously, it's a cheaper beer. There's lots of good stuff to recommend about this beer. And as I say, it's got that sort of soft mouthfeel. It's creamy. And the flavours sort of linger, Like an IPA, you want the flavours to linger a little bit. And you're getting loads of citrus fruits that linger. I mean, I should really drink this against the Buxton, really, because it's very similar, but just not quite as good, but very similar. I think the Buxton, the Phoenix one, just had a little bit more zest in it, a little bit more flavour and better aroma, and that's why it's got scored highly. So I'm giving this for overall 14 because I still think it's a very good beer. So tighten the scores up, get 76. That's another recommended beer. And yeah, I mean, again, this and the Phoenix are the two ones to beat. They've scored really well. I don't know whether it's just that they just hit that sweet spot in terms of a nice citrusy, good body. You know, they're for a supermarket, they tick all the boxes. Yeah, they're not going to compete with some of those sort of £5 IPAs that I buy from bottle shops. They're not at all. It's not up there with like some of the Polly's or the Daya or the Verdant sort of IPAs or Track or Beak or any of those. But there's a lot to like about this beer, and the fact is could potentially be £2 a can is really good. So if you're on a barbecue this summer, you know, if the weather starts getting better, because we've had some really good weather and then we had bad weather, but I think it's going to get better. If you're thinking of having a barbecue this weekend and you're thinking, well, I'm going to go to Tesco and buy something from craft beer, then you can do a lot worse than buy 4 of these for £8. I really think it's good value for money. So 50/50 from Buxton. I think Buxton are a very solid brewery. You know, they make consistently good beers. They're just, at the moment, they're very good. They're not great. I don't think I've had a Buxton that's like really, truly a really great beer, but certainly good, consistent, and that's what you want a lot of the time, especially from supermarket beers. And that makes me think, well, next time I go to a supermarket, I see a Buxton, I think, yeah, remember they make some good beers, buy that. And I think they're worthy. They're a very good supermarket beer. 76 out of 100 is a good score. Recommended. So check it out if you haven't already. And if you have had it, let me know what you think of this one. I mean, especially the 2 Buxtons that we've had. As I said, they are leading the way. They are better than certainly better than the likes of Brewdog. They're better than the South one. Definitely better than Magic Rock. And I'm sure. What else have I got left? I don't know. I'm trying to think which one else I've got left. Oh, I've got the Welsh one, which was obviously, I think, just in my Welsh Tesco, and that's pretty much it. I think that, oh yeah, the North one, the double IPA, I haven't had that yet. That'll be the next review, probably the double IPA from North. But definitely the Buxtons are leading the way, so check them out. If you've only got a few pennies to spare when you go to Tesco, get the 2 Buxtons first. I think you won't be disappointed. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until the next one, you know what you're going to do. Keep on rocking.